ममता। ममता वो होती है जो दिल से लेके कोख तक हर जगह महसूस होती है। वो कभी किसी की कोख में पलती है तो कभी किसी के दिल में। ममता।
Surrogacy is the idea that if there is a couple which cannot have a baby, they use the reproductive services of another woman to have a baby.
In cases where the couple is infertile, the child can be conceived through an assisted reproductive technology called IVF. The technique of in vitro fertilization, or IVF, removes several eggs from ovary for fertilization in the laboratory. These eggs are fused with the sperms of the male partner in a laboratory dish outside the body. During this time, only one of the many sperms will penetrate the egg to form an embryo, which is then transferred to the mother's uterus. When even IVF fails, infertile parents resort to surrogacy, wherein the resulting embryo is transferred to the uterus of another woman called a surrogate, who carries the baby to term. The success rate of surrogacy is around 45% in cases of fresh embryos. Every year, almost 5,000 babies are born through surrogacy in India.
This is done in cases where the infertile lady is born without uterus, her uterus has been removed, or is diseased with fibroids or tuberculosis, or has certain medical conditions where she cannot carry a baby to term.
Then there are patients who have medical conditions. Suppose somebody is severely hypertensive, severely diabetic, or has some life-threatening conditions where if she gets pregnant, she may not make it through the 9 months or not survive the delivery part. So obviously it's dangerous to her and the child to be. So these are some of the indications where we know that this woman definitely needs to have a surrogate mother to have a child.
Anand, a city in Gujarat, is known as the surrogacy hub of India. More than 1100 surrogate babies have been delivered in the famous Akanksha hospital, wherein numerous surrogates reside in the surrogacy home for the gestation period.
सैरोगेट के लिए मैं आई हूँ अपने घर की जो लॉन है वो क्लियर करनी।
मैं नहीं पढ़ी हुई हूँ पर मेरे बच्चे को मैं पढ़ाना चाहती हूँ, इसीलिए मैं सरोगेसी में आई हूँ।
मेरा घर की एक बार लॉन ख़त्म हो जाए बाद में, अब एक बार ख़त्म हो जाए दूसरी बार आधी रह के मैं दूसरी बार में क्लियर कर दूँ, फिर तीसरी बार आऊँगी तो बच्चे का फ्यूचर बन जाएगा। ऐसा
एक बच्चे का 4 लाख देते, 2 बच्चे का 5 लाख रुपए देते,
9 महीने में मिलते हैं, वो पूरी ज़िंदगी भर मिलते नहीं है ना।
मेरी फैमिली में किसी को भी पता नहीं है।
First thing is that these women under social conditions could not really share that they are going to really rent their womb. In many cases, not even to their own family. Secondly, they were mostly migrants because they knew once they will do the job, they will just disappear, go away somewhere, come back, do it again.
You should experience infertility to know what it is to be without a child. And if at the end of the day, by doing surrogacy, they can get a baby, their life is totally changed. Similarly, a surrogate mother who wants to help somebody on this earth, but at the same time wants to look after her family, get some compensation for the services she has rendered, and she can change her life, fulfill her dream of having a house, or educating the child, or getting a daughter married, or starting a small business, then this is the way she can do it. No matter what, within 9 months she cannot earn this 450,000, 500,000 rupees, whatever she does. So she is also benefited.
The case which threw immense light on surrogacy in India was the baby Manji case of 2008. The Japanese parents separated during the gestation period, and hence the surrogate baby was left without citizenship in India for several years due to the absence of stringent laws. The Supreme Court finally granted baby's custody to her grandmother. On the other hand, there were also some cases which failed to create the same noise.
This relates to a woman in Salem district, Tamil Nadu. She's married off at the age of 16. Now this woman at the age of 18 is forced by her husband and mother-in-law to sell one kidney. She's had 2 children of hers. She's also sold eggs 13 times. She has no idea how many eggs were taken from her each time. She's been forced to go 1 cycle of commercial surrogacy. At the age of 28, her husband and mother-in-law ask her to go through a 2nd cycle of commercial surrogacy. She runs away from home and takes shelter in a woman's refuge in Salem district. Her husband came and stabbed her there. Now she's made this in a dying declaration to the district magistrate.
देखिए ऑल कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव बिल आया है जिसमें कमर्शियल सरोगेसी को पूर्ण रूप से प्रतिबंधित करने का प्रावधान है. कंप्लीट बैन ऑन कमर्शियल सरोगेसी.
Surrogacy Bill 2016 bans commercial surrogacy in India completely. The bill legalizes altruistic surrogacy for heterosexual infertile Indian couples who have been married for 5 years. A couple can opt for surrogacy only once. Only a close relative can be approached for altruistic surrogacy. Singles, live-ins, foreigners, and LGBTs are prohibited from surrogacy.
The ICMR actually came out with guidelines about 6 or 7 years ago on assisted reproductive technologies, and we even started a registry of clinics by asking clinics, do you have the basic, these are the basic requirements if you want to, do this or this.
Now the fact remains that the guidelines are only voluntary. They have no enforcement, they have no force of law. So a lot of IVF doctors followed those guidelines, but some of them chose not to.
So in absence of any regulation, only medical guidelines were not of much help. And slowly the exploitation started increasing, and it went beyond anybody's control.
Well, what is happening in the Indian industry is that the woman is constantly being told that the baby is not hers, that it's an empty vessel, that is what she is, and she's going to bear a baby. There is a wide variation in the amount of money that is being paid by the commissioning couples. Our data shows you that less than a quarter of the money actually reaches the commercial surrogate. So the question is, what is happening to the rest of the money? Who's eating it up? How much of it is going to the doctors? How much of it is going to the third-party administrators?
In one case, we found that the surrogate was only paid 40,000 eventually. So this is not something they understood because they are illiterate. Majority of them did not know what the contract was saying, and they were brought by the middlemen.
This is a global industry worth billions of dollars, which is based on the exploitation of women's reproductive labor.
But these allegations are rightfully questioned by the people involved in the process.
You call it exploitative because you don't understand the very basic nature of this whole arrangement. You feel that the couple is exploiting, but you have not experienced infertility and not known what it is to be without a child. You think that the surrogate is exploited, but you have never asked the surrogate what she was going through before doing surrogacy and how it has changed her life after doing surrogacy.
Preamble to the new Surrogacy Bill 2016, even in the statement of object and reason of the law, it says that various instances of exploitation of surrogate mother.
It's not exploiting your body, but it is giving happiness to someone.
So there is no record or there is no known data where a surrogate has been exploited or where the couple has not paid the surrogate mother. Either the government is going on the basis of a hearsay, or if they have evidence, they are not showing it to us.
It is very easy to criticize, but the critics themselves, how many of them have approached a surrogate and found out whether she is exploited? And how many critics have done their homework, gone to the surrogates and found out how she has benefited? And who are the critics who can say that how can you sell your body to do this?
For a couple who doesn't have a child, it is really an emotional trauma. Trust me, in an Indian context, not having a child is the biggest crime. You are held responsible by everyone in the society. Your own parents, your own relatives. Howsoever rich you are, howsoever progressive you are, oh, अभी तक बच्चा नहीं हुआ है. 7 साल हो गए शादी को.
Infertility is the only disease which affects not one person but a couple or sometimes the entire family, and the pain is not seen by anybody. It's just intense emotional anguish and suffering.
They have said that a couple has to be married for at least 5 years. Why do I wait for 5 years? What's the logic? I may want to have a child in the first year of my marriage.
1 in every 6 couples is infertile. Despite of them being in large numbers, their pain is often neglected.
It's more than 10 years actually since I got married, and almost from 2008 we started taking treatment for the baby. You go ahead with so many injections, so many medicines, then you go through this implant process, you wait for 15 days. Those 15 days are really troublesome because you are under pressure that whether it will work or not, and then finally you come to know that no, it has not worked this time. So again you get mentally prepared for the next cycle. So you will not believe it, but I have gone through these cycles almost 15-20 times. So it is really emotionally, physically, mentally tiring.
I can't see a single salient feature. They have restricted it only to married couples. Single woman or a single man, even if he's an Indian citizen, can't go for surrogacy. Forget same-sex couples. They are completely out of this process.
Childless couples should have their children. And if there is a medical way to do it, do it. But do it in the right way. No, don't exploit anybody. Don't violate the right of another human being to have your own pleasure.
The question, of course, that is elided here is why surrogacy at all? Why not adoption? What is it? What is it about, the worship of the gene that everybody needs to have their own biological babies? I think that's an idiotic idea that patriarchy puts into people, that everybody in the world should have their own genetic babies.
No doubt that all the celebrities you heard have got only boys. What does it say? Could they have not chosen to have a baby girl? No. You can make a choice when you are implanting, when you are cross-fertilizing the embryo, you can make a choice. You can have a boy or a girl. So why will Indian couple want a girl at all? They all wanted boys only, and that's what is sex selection all about.
In order to get eggs, and especially if the surrogate is also donating the eggs, and whether or not she's donating the eggs, she is given so many hormones, and those are harmful to the body.
None of these women were told that your child will be, cesarean. So they had to go through this operation, and then after that, all that care that needs to be taken is not just some multivitamin tablets.
You're hiring their wombs and for a period of 8-9 months. And then the product of that labor, a child, is being given away or is being exchanged for some money. So you're creating a commodity. Child is commoditized.
Sale of their own body and exploitation of their own body. How many women can choose? If it is voluntary, it is really altruistic, then why middle class women are not opting for it?
Altruistic means that it has to be done for free. So in an Indian cultural situation, I'm not too sure how many close relatives will come forward to volunteer to be surrogate mother.
And here there are females who want to change their lives, they want to do it, and how can you force it that no, you cannot do this, it only has to be altruistic.
The autonomy of a woman to volunteer her body is totally a woman's choice. It's her body, it's her uterus. She should decide what she has to do with that. If she wants to volunteer and help someone and earn few money out of it, why not?
If you ban something, understand, the thing will go underground and lot of unscrupulous activity will start. Lot of illegal activities will start. And where the couple, if they're cheated, or the surrogate, if she's cheated, they have no place to go and complain.
Well, there is always this argument that you make a rule and things go underground. But I think that is not an argument why we should not have laws or rules. So if we use that argument, we shouldn't make any new laws or rules.
Only 3% of infertile couples need it, and surrogates are a very small group of females. And the opinion makers are the rest 95% of the society who have easily had children, who had not experienced infertility or not experienced poverty, and they can brag about their own ethics because they have not suffered.
Is it about the right of choice, or is it about exploitation of their wombs by the fortunate? Should their livelihood be scraped away through the ban, or should it be protected by the regulations of the binding law? Why are the ethics of these women being questioned?
Who decides what is ethical and what is not ethical? One thing. Second thing, who looks down upon surrogates? See the couples, they call them goddess. They worship them. They put their photo in the worship area. And they walk out with respect. So it is the society which decides that who should be respected, what is your ethics.
Every citizen in the world has a right to have a child through legitimate means. A surrogacy procedure is a legitimate medical option. By putting this condition, the government is depriving them of their basic human right. Right to procreation is a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution of India.
वो बोल रहे हैं सब लोग कि सेरोगेसी है एक बच्चे का वो मशीन है, ऐसे बोल रहे हैं. तो हम बच्चे का मशीन नहीं है.
Now, just for 1 or 2 incidents, is it really fair to ban a technique completely?
If you regulate it, definitely the whole process can be done in the best possible way. Like USA has been doing it for more than 3 decades without any problem.
So ban is not the answer, regulation is the answer.